To make a move like that, you have to have kahunas and conviction.
Long term, I'm bullish. We could see about a 20% correction next year.
This is Josh Jalinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
So 2 questions. How do people blow it? And also, how does everyone have the potentiality to become a millionaire?
Well, you know what's interesting is when I was an advisor and I'd go to a ball game or something, or one of my kids' games, or we go to a party or something, somebody say, well, so what do you do? You know, some people say, oh, I sell life insurance, or I'm a financial advisor, or I said, I help people become millionaires. You tell me how many million you want, and I'm going to show you what you need to do to get there. Because here's what I found, Josh, 90% of the people out there think they'll never be wealthy. And you know what? They're right. And 10% know that they're going to become wealthy. And you know what? They're right too. Because before you can do something, you got to believe you can do it. And what I found is if I could show them with a piece of paper with their name on it, showing they could have $1 million at their age 65, all of a sudden they could see it. And when they could see it, then they can believe it. And when they believe it, then they can achieve it. Now, you know, 30 years ago, I couldn't illustrate stocks and bonds. ETFs weren't even invented yet. Mutual funds, couldn't illustrate them. There was one product I could illustrate, and that was cash value life insurance. So what I would do is I would simply solve for $1 million of cash value at that person's age 65. Now, I'm not saying people should put all their money in life insurance. It was the only product I could show them that they could actually see themselves become a millionaire. But then I would take them over to a time value of money. And I would say, look, if you could get 6% interest, well, then it would only take this much to become a millionaire. If you can get 9%, it takes even less. If you get 12%, you can do it on $100 a month. And all of a sudden people would say, man, I could do $100 or $200 or $300 a month. Well, over time, they can become a millionaire doing that. And once they could see that, then I was no longer, you know, some type of salesperson. We weren't pushing products. I was doing my best to help them become a millionaire. Now, I say there's 3 key things that you got to do to build wealth. Number 1, you want to make more money. Number 2, you want to spend more wisely. And number 3, you want to put your money into up-preciating assets. See, if you think about it, most people are putting the majority of their money into deep-preciating assets, cars, boats, jet skis, RVs, and even worse, they're taking out loans on deep-preciating assets. Think about that. So now they are paying more for something that's going down in value every single day. If you are taking out loans to buy deep-preciating assets, you're not going to become wealthy. Okay, depreciating assets, you want to pay for in cash. You want to save up and buy them. You want to put the majority of your money into things that go up over time, stocks and bonds and real estate and crypto, whatever way you want to do that. I'll leave that up to you, but you don't want to put the majority of your money into depreciating assets.
That makes a lot of sense. What about people say, this is like, you know, power of positive thinking, hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo. What do you say to that?
Well, I'd say it worked for me. I'd say it's worked for a lot of people I know. I would say, you know, all you have to do is read The Millionaire Next Door. There's a whole bunch of books out there. You can Google janitors who become millionaires. There's plenty of janitors out there that became millionaires. There are people who didn't make much money, but they were disciplined and they were diligent. You know, I say most people could become millionaires except for 2 simple things. Number 1, they spend way too much money on their cars. And number 2, they get divorced. Now, we all know how divorce is like a financial nuclear bomb going off in the house. It's not good for either party. Divorce is terrible, all right? But the one thing that most people are blowing it on is in their cars. They're spending too much time trying to look wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. And I'll just give you an example because I'll give you an example of myself. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I had a chance to buy a brand new Ford F-150 pickup for $65,000. Or I could buy one that was 2 years old with 13,000 miles on it for $30,000. Well, anybody who knows me knows I bought the used one. It looked brand new. It was awesome. Paid for $30,000. I took the other $35,000. I invested it. Now listen to this. If I get 6% interest, all right, that thing in 30 years is going to be worth somewhere between 200 and 400,000. All right. In 40 years, it's going to be worth somewhere between 300 and 500,000. And in 50 years, that's going to be worth somewhere between 700 and 1.8 million. That is one car. That is one vehicle. Now, I'm married with 4 kids. I don't know. We probably had 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 vehicles. I don't know. But you start multiplying those numbers times vehicles, and you can see that it's the car that is keeping most people from becoming wealthy. You know, there are more people today that have $1,000 a month car payments than ever before. Think of it, more couples that each have $1,000. Now, so I did something crazy. I put the $2,000 a month into a time value of money calculator. I put it at 8% because I think 8% is fair over the long term. And in 50 years, that's worth $15.9 million. So I'm just telling you, people are driving their futures away.